Yo, how's everybody doing today? Hope everybody's having a good day. Somebody was asking me today what they do at my job, and I was thinking, like, it's kind of hard to explain because there's just so many things that they do. Like, I've already explained a bunch of things that they do on other videos recently, but it's kind of hard to even explain because there's just so many things that they do. Number one. Number two, there's so many people in there, like a lot of people in there, and they're just constantly doing it. So it's kind of hard to even like say it all because they're just constantly doing it the entire however many hours that I'm there, nonstop. Every time that I move, they're doing something with multiple people, with multiple stalkers around me, and like everyone in there is a stalker. So I just want to make this video just like explain it more because I feel like when I explain things, sometimes I just kind of run through it and I don't really like fully explain it. And it's kind of hard to explain without recording things too sometimes, but like I'm gonna do my best. And I just think it's like, I don't know. I just think it's good to talk about these things like for other TIs and stuff. Like I learned a lot from watching like Targeted Journeys channel, for instance. Like she like lays out things like when she talks about it and goes like full into detail on it, and it helped me to like understand what's going on around me. So I just kind of wanted to go more into detail on like what they do in my job. Cause and when I'm recording too a lot, I haven't really recorded a lot of like what they do when they're like walking around. It's mostly just traffic on the street in my videos, unless I go into a grocery store or something. But anyway, so like I said, it's this big room that we're all in. Basically, all you need to know is it's this big room. There's a bunch of tables and stuff. And there's a bunch of like machines everywhere, and each person is at different workstations, right? So, like, I'll be standing at my workstation, and there'll be people to the left of me over here syncing up. There'll be people to the right of me over here syncing up. There'll be people walking behind me syncing up. And there'll be people walking in front of me syncing up, like across the room from me. And then, they'll just be doing multiple things at once. So they'll be making sounds with whatever type of machine or different banging sounds or a forklift or whatever. And it'll be like, someone with a red shirt and someone with a blue shirt walking directly to the left of me at the same time as each other, right as a banging sound goes off across the room. So it'll be like multiple things happening. Pretty much every time something's happening, there's multiple things happening. And it's like most, if not all, the people in there are gang stalkers. Like it's like a big ass room, and like everybody in there is a gang stalker, or most of them. So it's just like every time that I move, every time that I'm doing something, I bend over, I pick something up, I start this machine up, I click this button, I do this, whatever I'm doing. Every time I do something, they're doing something. So either coming walking right behind me, they're walking beside me, whatever. They're doing something, and there's someone else doing something at the same time, and then a lot of times it's like a chain reaction of things. Or it'll be like, like I finish doing something, and then there's a sound going off, and then it starts a chain reaction of other sounds going off, and then all these sounds are going off. Or like people will just come over and stand by me, and they'll be having a conversation with each other, and then right as I do something, they walk away. And then a lot of times they're doing directed conversation. They're saying things directed at me. And today, again, like the other day, they were saying the word program synced up. They kept saying the word program. Like they're talking about the computer program at work. They're like, you need to log it back into the computer program. You need to log back into the program or whatever. They're talking about the program. But every time they say the word program, it's synced up. So they were doing that today. Then I was standing over at this workstation, at this table where there's all these people standing at it. And they have these two people standing next to me at the table. And they're like laughing to each other. They're like both to the right of me. And they're just having a conversation in Spanish. I don't even know what they're saying. But they keep laughing. Like every time I finish something, like it's like I got multiple things to do, and every time I finish one, they're laughing. Like they're laughing the whole time, but like every time I finish something, they're like going off. They're just cracking up harder. Like and it like I'm not really looking over at him, but it seems like he's like turning at me when he laughs too, just by the sound of his laughing. I didn't really look over at him, but it sounded like he was like turning his head toward me as he laughed every time when he would do that. And then they're also playing music on a speaker over there right next to me. And they kept turning the volume up on the speaker and turning it back down all of a sudden. It would just turn up randomly and then back down. Or stay up for like a few minutes and then turn back down. But they kept turning the volume on the speaker synchronized with what I'm doing. But they're just laughing. They just kept laughing though, like and like that particular guy is always laughing synchronized. Like every time that he comes in, he's always laughing across the room synchronized. And there's just always a bunch of people laughing across the room synchronized throughout the entire night. And again, that's the key. That's the craziest part, is that it's just the entire night, like the nonstop. And then I go on my break, and I'm being stalked on my break, and there's no breaks from the stalking at all. Like in my other jobs, there would be little quiet moments occasionally. At this job, it's none of that. It's just nonstop stalking, because there's just too many people in there. They just have to stalk me. They just have to do it nonstop. They have to. So yeah, those come over and stand by me. They'll just like yell all of a sudden at a synchronized moment. They'll just be like, woohoo! Or they'll be like, ah! Or they'll be like, whatever, like anything. I'm telling you, anything. Literally anything. It's so many things that they do, I can't even tell you. But, what was I gonna say? I don't know. But it's like, they want to like induce like an anxiety attack or like make you feel like stage fright or something. You know, it's like you have this spotlight on you and everybody's staring at you and giving you weird looks and laughing at you across the room. It's making you feel like they're constantly laughing at you and mocking you and staring at you. And like they'll just like, and I'll see them out of my peripheral vision all the time. Like they'll just come and stand next to me and just stare at me. Just always staring at me, just doing weirdo shit. And yeah, and then just making all types of noises, machine noises, banging noises, all fucking night. All night. Nonstop. And then I noticed they've probably been doing it, but I just noticed it yesterday that they also make like, you know, like packing tape when you pull it and it makes like the ripping sound. They make that sound synced up. And then they're just always constantly getting in my way. And just like I was like walking through this space and this one girl was just looking me right in the eye, and then she just like completely gets in my way as she's looking me in the eye as I'm walking toward her. And she's like, oops, sorry. I'm like, what? They just literally act like they're blind. Or like they have no spatial awareness. Like those back into you. Or whatever. And then, you know, like I said, I'm standing at like a table when I'm working, and like they'll just come and stand behind me, like right behind me. So they're just doing all these things and in different variations of combinations, like doing these things over and over, but like in different combinations with each other. And then every night, there's a bunch of people with red camo, all the things, or like the black American flag or a blue line flag. Just just whatever repetitive pattern thing or some type of directed t-shirt directed at me, some type of design on the t-shirt that's either like referencing something I was talking about or whatever. So it's constantly walking around me, making sounds around me, getting in my way, doing all these things, coughing, pointing. Multiple people throughout the night are always pointing, coughing, and sneezing, and doing all these things, laughing, and turning the music up and down. And then there's like an intercom, or they'll call people in the office, and that's always going off synchronized, and it's really loud. And then when I go on my break, I go in the break room, and there's a door on this side of the room, a door on that side of the room, and then there's 2 bathroom doors, and then there's 2 other doors, and then there's just always people coming in and out of these doors. Like one person's coming in one door while another person is going in or out of the other door, and I just keep doing that. There's someone walking in front of me as someone's walking through the door, or whatever. Any millions of different combinations that you could walk through a door or walk in front of me or cough or do a gang stalker thing synced up with another gang stalker. They just constantly, every time I go on break, have gang stalkers walking in and out with each other, laughing at me across the room or whatever. So it's a lot of things that they do. It's a lot that I probably didn't even say, I forgot to say, or that and then a lot of times when I'm recording too, there will be gang stalkers. I've said this a million times, but it's true though. A lot of times when I'm recording, there will be gang stalkers all around me that I'm not recording because they're either too like low key to record that it doesn't even look like anything. Like if I record it, it just looks like a guy. So it's like, but I know that it's a stalker. Or like they did something I didn't get to catch it in time or whatever. Like the video that I recorded this morning, there was a lot of stalkers around me, like to the side of me that I wasn't recording. Just because it would have been like they're just doing things like in a way that it's hard to capture with a 2D camera. You know, it's like they're doing things all around me 3D that I can't really capture with a camera, or they're making sounds around me that you can't tell what direction the sounds are coming from, or like you maybe can't even hear it because it's too quiet or whatever. So there's always a lot of things going on that I can't even record even if I'm recording, and there's just always constantly things going on, a lot of them. Like too many of them, like too many for even my brain to even process. It's just way too much. They just do way too much. And of course, that's the point. They want to do too much just to overstimulate me and make me go bananas. But I don't know, I just wanted to like clarify a little bit more, like That's just that's just every night at work is that. And probably some other things that I forgot to mention. But if I remember, I'll go live again and talk about it. See you later.